the weather forecast with Coloca and its multi-purpose banquet hall, Il Palazzo.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen, and another opportunity to have you on the weather forecast. You had an excellent celebration of the Youth Day. We will between tonight and tomorrow morning have a calm weather dominate the national territory with the lowest temperatures around the Western Highlands as low as 13 degrees in the northwest, 15 in the west and 16 degrees in the Adamawa region. We expect as low as 19 degrees in the north, 21 in the center, 22 in the south and the southwest region, expecting as low as 26 degrees. And onto the east region this evening, there is no chance of precipitation in all the major towns, and same experience by morning with Betua expecting the least temperature at 18 degrees. And onto the far north region tonight, we have no possibility of rainfall, and by morning it will be the same experience in all the major towns of the far north region. And lastly, in the littoral region this evening, there will be no possibility of precipitation, and by morning it would be the same experience with Kongsamba expecting the least temperature at 18 degrees. Why not make our time to go see how beautiful the Eden waterfall is? Thank you for watching, and do have a good night.
Youths called to embrace fields that will enable them reap the fruits of Cameroon's decentralization options. Partial results of the municipal elections shows the Cameroon People's Democratic Movement as the winner. Tonight, we bring you results from some of our regions where the CPDM has been voted as winners. And partial results of the municipal elections show the CPDM as winners. And thanks for joining us on this newscast. And we have partial results of the legislative elections. Thanks for joining us on this newscast. The youths are as the backbones of decentralization is an assessment which many believe to be true, attributing their claims to the multiple opportunities for skills and development and employment at the local levels, from playing an active role in decision-making to being major actors of their own socioeconomic growth. The gains from decentralization are said to be varied. Clarice Aritakang reports.
Development experts agree that one of the gains decentralization offers the youths is the possibility of playing a leading role in decision-making. Learning to play politics from the grassroots will prepare them to better manage democracy at the national level they concur.
Youths can in the long run make a career in politics after being involved at the local level. We saw that from the just ended elections, the fact that youths should be part of those who constitute the list of candidates for elections.
Meanwhile, the transfer of competencies to the regions equally presents the youths with a chance of showcasing their talents and skills in a number of sectors: education, health, economics, and sports. 66 competencies have been devolved to all regions, while the Northwest and Southwest will benefit from 69 each. The involvement of the youths in the growth of these fields is thought to be key. Equally strategic is job creation at local levels. The elaboration of training programs, which will ease the integration of youths into the labor market, is an asset to build on, as councils will have the powers to recruit those they would have trained based on the needs of the locality. The growth of startups and incubators is an added advantage. This becomes even more strategic with the local public service to be developed.
Youth will be engaged at council, community, and regional levels. This is effective in the fight against unemployment. Their skills and knowledge will be useful for the municipality. The local public service is an opportunity for the youth.
Effective decentralization is in the works. Opinions hold that making it sustainable and productive is an opportunity for the youths to grab.
And as Cameroon gets ready to fully embrace decentralization, Experts say there is need to lay emphasis on specialization in order to benefit from the new job opportunities which come with effective local development. They add that a mastery in certain fields will be an asset without which decentralization cannot be sustainable. Beatrice Ngum tells us more in the following report.
A decentralized state is good, but a decentralized system of government in Cameroon will bring about major changes. Experts say new jobs will not emerge, but a new approach to existing jobs will be required.
You cannot apprehend financing of the state like you will apprehend it of the territories. We have to be specialized because you cannot talk about financing of the center region like you can talk about financing of the littoral region.
Specialities like finance, communication, and lots more will have to consider the cultural, geographical, economic, and traditional specificities of areas in the conception of projects.
You have speciality like territorial marketing, territorial engineering. If you have to work on tourism, you have to know the history, you have to know everything in habits and character of the population.
Besides domesticating the approach in different domains, the offers will also have to be attractive enough to woo investors.
If the tourism is not attractive, if the entrepreneurship is not attractive, the territory cannot enrich because enrichment is based on attractivities.
If until now the approach to jobs was global, henceforth it will require a wider scope of knowledge in certain fields to be able to exercise.
Despite the creation of 500,000 jobs in 2019 by the state and a decision to do more this 2020, Cameroonian youths, ICT experts say, can on their part work towards self-employment in fields like tech, entrepreneurship and data mining. Environmentally biological innovations such as water hyacinths, according to experts, can serve as a source of income to youths if it is used to make bags. Yoti Kaleli Songe tells us more on the employment niche Cameroon youths can begin enjoying if they are more daring.
The environment, experts say, is like an umbrella, shading job opportunities which only the keen eye and smart mind can exploit. For example, biological innovations like water hyacinths.
This water hyacinth, when properly cropped, can be transformed to things like usable handbags, portable sacks, and even chairs.
Other examples include the fabrication of boats using plastic bottles and renewable energy.
If we take our remote areas, which are actually going without lights, the youths can simply go to maybe free-flowing streams or nearby water courses and just simply regenerate fuel gas turbines to regenerate electricity at low cost.
The advent of the internet and communication technologies has also opened up the job market.
If I'm a programmer, a company will hire me as a programmer. So these are new jobs that are coming because most of the content and other things and services that people provide today are being digitalized, so they will require these skills. When companies digitalize, they increase their volume of sales. Once the volume of sales and volume of business increases, they'll hire people in different areas. We'll take the case of Uber, where it's the biggest taxi company in the world, but they don't own any taxi. Where the guy had an idea, people want to book taxis, people want to do this, he creates the app, people book the taxi, he controls in the background, and then he has a percentage of the shares of the sales that you do.
Brilliant ideas put in action can equally create employment for youths. For example, startups that have created platforms to empower their peers.
We were able to bring in young people from all over the country, and we were able to share with us their business ideas. With our judges and experts in the Silicon Mountain, we were able to select and promote those businesses which we know are valuable to the community.
But some areas are yet to be fully exploited.
Like data mining, artificial intelligence, robotics. The other areas will be hardcore type engineering, like chip making a digital chip and the rest.
Experts therefore advise that Cameroonian youth should think it, believe it, and do it.
And tonight we focus on one of Cameroon's agro-industrialists, Lise Angèle Kombi, who processes and packages finished products from plantains. The young entrepreneur has been in the business for almost 3 years now and was the winner of the 2018 Best Independent Researcher at the Scientific Research and Innovation Week of Excellence, JESIC, organized 2 years ago. Cynthia Saptala profiles the youth for the 7:30 News.
Lise is an agro-industrialist who has found a way of improving the value of a common food staple, that is plantains. Out of it, she has processed and packaged a number of edible items.
The idea came about as I realized that plantain is very perishable, that these ladies that grow plantain and cannot feed their family could actually benefit from plantain if we increase the value of plantain.
Holder of a master's degree in business management and another in education and international development, this wife and mother of two says finances will always be an issue for an entrepreneur. The trick is to stay focused on the long-term goal.
There is always a way you can start. You know, if you don't have money to straight away buy your machinery to be drying the plantain, you definitely have a piece of land somewhere where you can start growing it and supplying.
The shop she owns along the Dakar Avenue in Yaoundé and the business she runs offers 8 direct jobs as well as other indirect jobs.
You cannot invest and expect a return in a month or in 2 months or even a year. I pay my employees, yes, that I cannot mess with. I pay my rent, I pay my taxes, but in terms of me benefiting straight away, you know, that's something I have not been able to do, but I know where I'm going.
After over 2 years of operating in Yaoundé, the dream is to expand and expand with the hope that more Cameroonians consume products made in Cameroon.
Some government officials yesterday exchanged with youths at the youth village. The focus was to provide them with the opportunity of tabling their concerns for a first-hand response. Cynthia Saptala brings out the highlight of the exchange during Youth Day celebrations yesterday.
The tete-a-tete with top government officials of over 10 ministerial departments was one of the high points of the Youth Day celebrations in Yaoundé. For more than 2 hours, the exchange between government and its youths centered on issues such as agriculture and ICTs, moral decadence, and increasing access to internet for those in the rural areas.
Agriculture is a field that could employ thousands of youth. Is there anything done that could help youth in that sector?
In the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, we have so many projects and programs, you know, to empower some youth.
At the request of the head of state, the objective of the exercise was to provide some explanations to those major points mentioned in his address to the youths.
What help has the government given to the youths who have laid down their guns?
A mention has been made of the DDR Center. There are training programs for these young people. They do agriculture in terms of pig rearing, poultry. They train them in carpentry.
In that address, President Biya talked about creating new employment areas, designing a national drug and alcohol abuse control plan, and reducing moral decadence amongst the youth.
At the level of basic education, we have to share 2 responsibilities. The families have a great role to play.
One by one, each member of government present put forward the state's agenda for the youth and ways through which they can contribute towards an emerging economy.
Youth employment remains a major preoccupation to the head of state, Paul Biya. The head of state stated this concern in his traditional message to the youth on February 10th, while disclosing that 500,000 jobs were created last year in the modern sector of Cameroon's economy. Here's an excerpt of the president's message, selected by Ebenezer Akanga.
Finding employment, particularly for the youth, remains a cause for concern because for the time being there is mismatch between employment demand and supply. The government and the Ministry of Employment and Vocational Training are making every effort to provide solutions to this problem. The former through its recruitment into the public service and the army, and the latter through the implementation of various employment assistance programs. However, it must be acknowledged that though laudable, such efforts are unlikely to resolve a problem stemming from the fact that our economy does not generate enough jobs. This difficulty notwithstanding, it is gratifying to know that according to statistics, slightly over 500,000 jobs were created last year in the.
And back to echoes of the Youth Day that was celebrated in Boya, and with a call for peace and education to reign. Activities presided over by the Governor of the Southwest Region, Bernard Okaliabilai, brought together youths from various walks of life taking part in the march past. Regina Ngalen-Doko reports from CRTV Southwest in Boya.
The colors of the national flag opened the march past ceremony at the Boya Independence Square. From primary, secondary to higher institutions of learning, they all reiterated the importance of peace, education in the lives of youth through the placards they brandished along. Despite calls for boycott, these youths braved the odds to prove their love for fatherland.
My reaction is a reaction of satisfaction and joy. And I want to congratulate those youths, and I want to plead with them that they should pull the other youth who are still in the bushes, those who are misled. They should come out to join them so that they continue the fight for the construction of our beloved country.
The youth were reminded of measures put in place to accompany them to their full potential.
Continue to accompany the youth who are supposed to benefit from the special trainer plan program. At this level, for this quarter of the year, we have 30 youths that are benefiting who are supposed to be financed, and the number is going to increase with time.
The youth of the CPDM political party joined their peers to say no to violence, drug abuse, and school boycott.
The February 9 twin municipal and legislative elections have projected Cameroon once again as a sovereign nation capable of handling its own issues and solving its problems. In our newsroom commentary, Kilan Dantifon says that the elections were contested by a multitude and diverse political parties from across the nation. Kilian?
Prior to the February 9 twin council and legislative elections, there were apprehensions from the national and international spectra on the success of the polls, given especially the security situation in the northwest and southwest regions that has indisputably affected the political, economic, social and cultural life of the country. As a state of law, the Supreme Magistracy ignored anti-republican and chicken-hearted calls, as well as threats and respected state institutions by summoning the electorate to the polls. Today, skeptics have been convinced that it was the right thing to do for the forward march of the nation. The twin elections effectively took place in all nooks and crannies of the country, and the echoes are still resounding. A record of 33 different political parties contested in the legislative polls, and 43 ran for the council race. This is a pointer to a better future. It is an indication that today is better than yesterday. Yes, better than last year. National and international election observers have been outspoken on the constantly improving situation in the country. There is another new element that the twin elections have brought to the fore, that of the new faces and new grounds, by hitherto germinating or completely new formations in the political arena, in the likes of the Cameroon Party for National Reconciliation of Cabral Libi, in Nyong and Kele and in the littoral. The Cameroon National Salvation Front also overpowered the ruling CPDM in Marwa 2 Council, and the NUDP broke grounds in Vina Central in the Adamawa. Post-electoral disputes could even improve on this positive image thus far. Today is certainly better than yesterday, and tomorrow should be brighter than today. The challenge is collective, but you know, the contributions are individual. Light your own candle.
Partial results of the twin elections in the littoral region indicate that the CPDM has made sweeping victories in municipal constituency where they had few or no challenges. The results published by Elections Cameroon also revealed that the PCRN and MCPN parties won in some municipalities in the Nkam and Mongo division. Details with Dixon Ashu from Douala.
The people have made their choices through the ballot as to who they deem worthy of their trust for municipal representation in the littoral. On the podium of victory, the least expected, the newcomers, and the endured stand in pride. Elekam has made public the result, and as at what is handy, the PCRN party of Cabral Libi sweeps absolute majority in Konjok, Nkam division, sharing seats in Douala 3, 5, and Edea 1. The MPCN party of Paul Eric Kinge wins in Dibombari and Jombe Pinja, while the SDF emerges second in Jombe Pinja, Douala 1, Douala 2, 4, and in Mombo, while sharing seats in Douala 5 and Edea 1. This as at official results so far. The pews of Sesh, Espoir, Matomba grab seats in Douala 4, Manidem in Dibombari, UNDP in Jombe Pinja, and UDC in Douala 1. As for the ruling party, the CPDM, they sweep absolute majority in Baribakem, Bonalia, Ebone, Ndom, Melong, Nkongsamba 1, 2, and 3, Ndobian, Ngambe, Yabasi, Ngwe, Yingi, Edea 2, and Douala 6, most of where they had no challengers in the municipal election. The party equally leads in Douala 1, Douala 3, 4, 5, and in Edea 1 as at available results.
And partial results of the municipal election in the West region show that the CPDM, CDU, UMS, SDF, and MCNC will manage the 40 councils in the region for the next 5 years. The results published by the presidents of the Communal Commission equally show that the CPDM grabbed the largest share with 3 councils. From Bafusam, here's Henry Chesambe.
While waiting for the official proclamation of the results, some 5 political parties will run the 40 councils of the West region for the next 5 years after last Sunday's municipal election. The CPDM 30, the CDU 6, UMS 2, SDF 1 and MCNC 1. The CPDM won the 4 councils of the Bambotos, 4 of the 7 in the Opankam, the 4 in the Upper Plateau, the 3 in the Kunki, 6 councils in the Minwa, 2 of the 3 in the Mifi, the 4 of the Ndei, and the 3 of the 9 in the Nun. The CDU comes second with 6 councils in the Nun, the UMS 2 in the Opankam, the SDF 1 in the Mifi, while the MCN 19 of the 25 councillors in the Banka Council of the Opankam, while the CPDM has dropped from 33 councils to 30. The CDU has moved from 5 municipalities to 6, the UMS 1 council area to 2. The SDF has maintained the 1 council, while newcomer MCNC is at the helm of 1 council in the region.
Results of the municipal election in 3 municipalities in Gaundere are now known. The preliminary results were published by the Council's Commission in the presence of enthusiastic and anxious supporters, as Sadu Yaoba tells us from CRTV Adamawa in Gaundere.
While waiting for the official results from the formal institutions after the voting exercise, the preliminary results indicate that the National Union for Democracy and Progress in the Ngaoundéré 1 municipality has obtained all the seats with 31 councillors. The municipality was formally run by the NUDP, and its list head says the challenging task awaiting the team is placed under development. He also appreciates the democratic unfolding of the polls. However, the situation is similar in the Ngaoundéré 2 municipality, where 31 councillors equally belong to the NUDP list. Its officials affirm that there is still much ahead, even if the democratic conduct of the polls is largely appreciated. Meanwhile, in the Ngaoundéré 3 municipality, the CPDM is on top with 25 councillors, while the NUDP and the Universe Party have respectively 4 and 2 councillors.
The Constitutional Council continues to receive petitions from disappointed political parties and candidates who were not satisfied with the conduct of the February 9 legislative election. Those qualified to table post-electoral petitions before the legal structure have up till midnight this Wednesday to hand in their complaints. Quinta Rita Edang with the details.
So far, 3 post-electoral petitions have been tabled before the Constitutional Council following last February 9th parliamentary election. Out of this number, 2 are from the United Democratic Party, the UDP. In the first petition, officials of the party are requesting the cancellation of the results of polling stations in Ndawara, in Belo subdivision in the Northwest region. Their complaint is that the polling centers were positioned in the premises of a staunch CPDM supporter, an act which is against the law. The second litigation requests the legal structure to either cancel the results of the polls in Mr. J in the Northwest region or declare the UDP candidates winners as their ballot papers were absent in all polling stations in the area. The last petition is from the CPDM candidates in Vina in the Adamawa region who are pleading for a partial cancellation of the election in Ngaoundéré 1, 2, 3, and Yambaka subdivisions, accusing the NUDP of the non-respect of the deadline for campaigns and their involvement in different acts of corruption. Disgruntled political parties and candidates who have complaints against the conduct of the polls have up till midnight this Wednesday to drop their litigations at the legal structure. This is in accordance with Article 133 of the Electoral Code, which states that all complaints must reach the Constitutional Council no more than 72 hours after the close of the polls.
And on to other news, the director of the Central African Economic and Monetary Community, CEMAC, Jean-Claude Ngemenyi, is on a one-week mission to Cameroon. During his stay, he will review the economic and financial situation of Cameroon in 2019 and the perspective for 2020-2021, as well as the status of the implementation at the national level of the various pillars under the CEMAC Economic and Financial Reform Program. Caroline Okeanoma is just back from the first meeting and put together this report.
Day 1 of 8 days CEMAC multilateral surveillance mission to Cameroon began with the follow-up technical committee for economic progress who are currently assessing Cameroon's status of compliance in 2019 with the CEMAC convergence criteria.
Evaluate the state of implementation of various structural reform undertaken.
The mission will also focus on the status of implementation of the 2020-2030 National Development Strategy, status of domestic debt settlement, development concerning Sonora, agricultural enterprises operating in the Northwest and Southwest regions, such as the CDC, PAMOL, and ONUDA.
The government should accelerate the implementation of major first-generation structuring project and reduce the low consumption of credit allocated to the implementation of a 3-year emergency plan for accelerating growth. Ensure a better monitoring of SNH direct intervention. Accelerate the resolution of the socio-political crisis.
Working sessions with other economic and financial structures in the country will continue in the next days ahead.
The youths of Zoom, a village in Sangmelima subdivision in the South region, have been treated to an artistic showcase with music icons like Jean-Pierre Isome, Nabila, and comedians like Kaiser Show on stage. The initiative, which is 18 years old, is that of His Majesty Ngamba Emile, paramount ruler of Yemvan clan. As Emanuela Vemnier reports, the Youth Day concert was watched by the Senior Divisional Officer for Dija and Lobo.
It is a yearly rendezvous fully enshrined in the Zoom village calendar for the past 18 years. Unites the youth on February 11th for a Youth Day celebration that goes beyond March Past to including a cultural showcase. His Majesty Ngamba Emile, paramount ruler of Yemvan clan, is the bearer of this initiative.
Be together to talk about the peace, about the future, because you know that youth is the future of our country. Young people identify themselves through artists. It's very important to be together and to push this initiative.
On stage, all categories of artists: Nabila, Linda Rebon, La Tigresse du Sud, and more. The show is free for all. The youths are entertained, so too the officials, including the SDO for the Jar and Lobo Division. 9 villages have converged here to commune as one and share moments with their dreamed artists. This event in Zoom Village, Sangmelima subdivision, sets out to promote love, fraternity, togetherness and unity among the 9 villages.
Youths have been called to embrace fields that will enable them reap the fruits of Cameroonians' decentralization options. And partial results of the municipal elections show the Cameroon People's Democratic Movement in the lead in several councils across the country. And in this newscast, we brought echoes on the results. And the Constitutional Council has started receiving petitions for the legislative election. The law gives disfavored candidates up to midnight today to deposit any petition. And that is where we leave it on the 7:30 news. Thanks for watching. Romeo Chuisengok will be on the set at 8:30 for the news in French. And keep the rendezvous tomorrow for another edition of the news. Until then, it's bye from us on the 7:30 crew. Good night.